We spoke about the pay packages difference in terms of the average package in India versus US, but it'll be unfair if we don't talk about the expenses because the cost of living is also very different here.
Yeah.
So one last thing which I wanted to discuss with you was कि आपके monthly expenses in Mumbai when you were staying there, how are they versus the monthly expenses in New York? Like I want to do a quick comparison कि मुंबई में कितना खर्चा होता था monthly
Right.
versus New York में कितना होता है. So people also get to know कि cost of living is also high, which is why the pay packages are higher.
No, perfect. Right. So I think starting with the biggest cost is obviously the rent. So if you don't own a house, so you have to pay rent. And Mumbai mein, that was I was paying about 25,000 or 25,000 was my share. Versus New York mein, if you're living in Jersey City, or if you're living in Manhattan, then average rent that you would have to spend is about $2,000, $2,500. So that's a big difference because like $2,500 as compared to 25,000 or 30,000 in Mumbai. Even in a city like Mumbai, in South Bombay probably, and you would know better. It is a big difference because यहाँ पे the biggest cost is rent.
2 lakh rupees, 2,500.
2,500 is almost 2 lakh rupees per month. Yeah. So it is almost 8 times, 6 to 8 times the average cost that I think you bear in Mumbai. So that is one big difference. The other thing, I think food wise, New York is a bit on the higher side, but amazing options. Like you can have anything and everything around the world. And I'm pretty sure you have experienced that already in your 1 week of staying here. New York has like worldwide cuisines, but then yes, I mean, on an average, a meal would cost you about $20 if you want to have a full, like a full meal for yourself. Whereas in India, I mean, you either cook at home or even if you go to a restaurant, I think you would not pay more than 800, 600 to 800 rupees for your share, right? So 600 to 800 compared to about 1,800 to 2,000 rupees, like in INR yahan pe. So it's about double, but it's not a big difference, I would say. Shopping karna hai, to I think shopping is one thing that I realized it's actually cheap here in the US. I mean, if you go, for example, if you buy something from Nike in India or like something from Under Armour, like a shirt or a shorts, that would cost you about 2,000, like 1,500, 2,000 on average. Yahan pe bhi you will get it for $20, $25. So it's like almost the same cost. I mean, even in INR terms, it is the same cost because I mean, like import duties come into place and India mein thoda like mehenga ho jata hai because of that. So at least all the US manufactured products are like pretty cheap here. So, and even like luxury items, like if you buy a Chanel, if you buy Louis Vuitton, if you buy, like in whatever other brands are there, Michael Kors hai, Coach hai, yahan pe काफी सस्ता पड़ता है. And like as we all know, iPhones, right? And iPhones भी यहाँ पे सस्ते पड़ते हैं, like rather than in India. So overall shopping, I would say यहाँ पे काफी cheap है. It's not that expensive. Coming to groceries, similar. Groceries are also not that expensive. Mera average grocery bill per week, goes to about $50, $60 per week. So that becomes about $250 a month. So वो कितना हो गया? 2,000, 3,000, like, Indian rupees हो गया वो, right? No, sorry, 250. Yeah. So it's not that much. I mean, India maybe agar it like depends on what kind of food you cook. But almost utna hi hoega. I'm like pretty sure. So yeah, these are the main expenses. So I would say rent, choose very wisely what you want and where you want to stay in the US. And then based on that, how much you want to spend on the rent, because that is the only deciding factor on how much you are actually going to save money.
Yeah.
So baki sab, it's fine. I mean, it's almost the same.
So what would be, if you break down your monthly expenses in the US, what would they be? Like rent, grocery, travel?
So rent would be about 2,500, right? Groceries might be about 250 to 300 a month. So we'll get 2,800. Shopping agar kuch kar liya to maybe 100 to 150 a month. So wo about 3,000 ho gaya. Food pe, if I do about like $20 average on a meal, like $20, $25, and plus party was up like on weekends. So, that also I think would go about 400 to 500 a month. So, wo 3,500 ho gaya about. And then I think those are the main costs, like, which you spend on. travel, यहाँ पे Ubers are quite expensive. Ubers and Lyfts are quite expensive. If you would have also noticed, if you traveled, subways are pretty cheap, like $3 to $3, like one ride. But Uber आपको almost India के 5 times पड़ेगा, like into 5. So, and generally people in New York avoid taking even a bus, right? You just walk, right, in New York. So, अगर आपने फिर भी लिया, and maybe on weekends आप कहाँ पे जा रहे हो, या फिर like you rent a car, for example, if you want to go for a drive, or if you want to go somewhere close by, renting a car would cost you about $80 a day, $80 to $100 a day, or an Uber would cost you about $30 for 15 minutes, like for a 15 to 20 minute ride. तो वो सब like I think monthly अगर 3-4 like rides हो गए Uber के, तो I would say about 150 to 200 again on that. तो that becomes around फिर 3,500 था, 3,700, 800 तक हो गया वो, right?
So on an average like $4,000.
$4,000 तो जाएगा आपको.
Maximum.
Yeah,
per month.
and that too, it is very, it is dependent on which city you live in. Okay,
Yeah.
New York में वो है, but if you go to cities like or states like Texas या फिर Austin, वहाँ पे income tax भी नहीं है, इतना taxes कम है, वहाँ पे pay like फिर like salaries भी कम है थोड़ी सी, but then you also save because you don't have a lot of taxes. But then वहाँ पे like then again food is cheaper, shopping is cheaper, like Ubers are cheaper, like everything is much cheaper. But then again your pay is you don't get the pay like California or New York.
Yeah.
If you learned something new from this video, do share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel so that we can bring you the best content possible. Also, if you want to watch this entire episode, click on the link in the description box and you can go to Kushal Lodha YouTube channel and watch the entire podcast episode. Thank you so much for watching this and have an amazing day.